Hello, everyone. I am welcome to our presentation on the 2024 Jefferson Highway Association's Louisiana Sociability Caravan. This is a informational overview that will give you uh, some information concerning what we're going to do on this caravan, our activities, and information about the Jefferson Association. So let's get started. My name is Roger Bell. I am the president of the Jefferson Highway Association. And this is a picture that was taken of myself last year during our first ever association caravan activity. Time was in Iowa. And for 3 days, we traveled over Iowa across the Jefferson Highway in Iowa, the byway there, and had great interest. It was really great to see the community's involvement and the fun we had on the caravan as our participants did. This is in Leon, Iowa, along the Jefferson Highway route. This is one of the murals they have there in Leon, and was a great day along the route in Iowa. First off, in this presentation is kind of information about what is a sociability run. The Jefferson Highway was formed in 1915 in New Orleans as one of the earliest auto trail highways across America. And soon after it was formed, one of the promotional events that was started was what we call sociability runs, or what we would today sometimes call caravans. These sociability runs were used by these early highway associations to promote the route, to establish it as a principal highway. And some were major efforts going the whole route, some or just area runs that would go. But there was many that were done that were complete one end of the highway in Winnipeg all the way to New Orleans. The concept of a sociability run was, the group of cars goes together. Most of the time they were decorated, and they would travel the route together in a convoy, and usually numbered. They would have, lead cars, 1, 2, and 3 would have a lot of the dignitaries, the managers of the highway, and they would come into these towns, and usually about 10 minutes apart, and giving them time to give a presentation to the crowds there, and shake a few hands, and then the next car would come in, and then it was just really in a real orderly schedule. We can only imagine what the scheduling was in this time period when you didn't have the information we have today, the communication, just by watches and stuff. So it was quite a difficult thing, but it was really well organized effort. There was notable sociabilities run that did the whole Jefferson Highway very early. 1916, there was a complete run of the highway. But one of the big ones was in 1917, which was called a double relay run. Participants in this run, they traveled from Winnipeg all the way to New Orleans, and then they're back after a little bit of a rest over in New Orleans. They went all the way back to Winnipeg. And there were a lot of dignitaries involved in this, including the premier of Manitoba, the mayor of Winnipeg, other dignitaries from Winnipeg, so and so. They traveled the whole route. Again, these were the ones that were giving speeches on the way down, presentations. A lot of times, the governor, states met them, or local officials in these towns as they came through. In Louisiana, the governor in Louisiana was involved in his state, the mayor of New Orleans, and then there was just people that were in the association or that would join in for that time periods along the route. During our 24 sociability caravan in Louisiana, we're going to focus a lot on that 1917. We're going to look at its history, some of the personalities that were involved there, some of the places they did, some of the events they did, and that will be in your guidebook. We'll talk about it along the route. This kind of makes it fun to really travel in the same area, over 100 years later, in which these people did, and to reflect back on their time and their adventure. As per these runs of old, our event will also include a lot of camaraderie. Well, you'll make friends. You'll get to explore things that you haven't seen before. You'll get to learn. You might drive by on the highway, but you didn't really know that this is what that was. We'll try to point out some of that. We'll also promote and educate communities and towns and public on the Jefferson Highway and its future as a viable heritage route in Louisiana and in the United States. So when we're driving our vehicles, first of all, there's always a lot of questions of what type of vehicles we have. I know last year there was people that thought the only thing that this would take would be classic vehicles or Model A's or Model T's or whatever. That's not the case. We'll take any vehicle you want to drive. If you have a classic vehicle and you'd like to be part of our caravan for a portion or all of it, that's great. We'd love to have you, but we welcome all types of vehicles. My vehicle is a modern vehicle, and that's what we expect. I don't know of any at this point in time. This presentation is being recorded. I don't know of any classic cars this year. We definitely did have some last year, including some car clubs. But doesn't have any vehicle bearing on your participation. Each morning we'll have a check-in to register your vehicle and your passengers and participants. That's just to help us in the planning for the day. Driving in a caravan, these two-lane roads and through a lot of urban areas, that requires some patience and caution. We're going to run into some issues. I know last year we ran into a few issues. Time is one of them. We had some mechanical issues with one of our participants. I know one time when I was leading, I kind of got us off the track a little bit onto some dusty roads. I'm guessing the people thought they were on the right road, but they really weren't. But it was a lot of fun to see their reaction when I got to the stop. But the key thing is to know there's going to be some of those issues. It's to be expected. Just be patient with us and just continue on to your next destination point in your guidebooks and use common sense. We will have a guidebook available for purchase for the participants. It's going to include a schedule, phone numbers. We'll have a lot of information, some maps, and these are highly encouraged for you to purchase. They're available now to pre-order. There'll be a few available for purchase pre-order, but we recommend you pre-order these. They'll be for you, and there'll be an important guide. It'll have some historical things in there you'll definitely want to read. We will have a waiver of liability document like we had last year. This is kind of a must for drivers in these caravans. It's just one of those legal documents. It's just a waiver that's patterned after similar documents in other type caravans or activities. It's just fully understood by signing it that you're taking your own risk driving down the roads and highways. Your Jefferson Highway is not liable or does not have any. You're relieving them of any all liabilities by participation. When we go over some of the other driving notes, some of the things we always caution: times where you're going to stop your car. You're going to see something on the side of the road. Maybe we're going to take a photograph. You're going to need a restroom stop. You're going to need gasoline. This is going to happen. Just know that the destination stop ahead is your next one to get to. If you're going to be delayed significantly, we ask you to call a phone number to see and let us know of that or any issues that you may have. Understand when we go to some of these stops along the route, there's going to be some timing restrictions. We're trying to get this done in a certain time. We may have to be at lunch at a certain time. We may have to be somewhere because we've got something planned. So there's going to be some times that we'll have to tell you it's time to move forward. We've got to get going. We know that sometimes well, we might talk to somebody there that's really interesting, or we may see something unique, but we have to understand that the leadership is going to have to kind of move you along at certain points in time. It's just the way it is. If you're going only on a portion of the route, let's say you decided, well, I'm a local, I'm going to take part of the route today. I want to bail on the caravan at this town. Uh, those are the times you need to let us know about that. We don't want to just assume you're lost or some issue has occurred. So we ask you call us our number or at each stop, say, hey, Roger, our leaders, I'm going to leave right now. Something's come up, whatever. So just communicate to our leadership when you have any plan changes like that. Car magnets and car flags, we'll talk about that in a minute. You pre-order now to identify your vehicles. They're very good for that. When you're driving down a caravan and you see these flags in front of you, it really helps you know I'm on the right path here. And it's really good for people to see that and say, what's going on? You would imagine some of the people are saying, wait, their heads will turn just to see what's going on when these vehicles and flags like this in a caravan come down. So it's a good way to let people know of the caravan. If you want to decorate your vehicle in some way, we'll talk about that more in a moment. Like the sociability caravans of old did. We love it. That's great. We highly encourage it. Just make sure that there's no safety hazards by any of your decorations and for yourself or others. Last year we had some some contests, and this year we're going to do it again. It's a lot of fun. It just kind of creates a unique element. We highly encourage you to participate in these opportunities here. The picture here is of one of the sociability caravans of back in time. This is one in Minnesota, and you can see the gentleman in the very front of the car. If you look closely, he's speaking to the group, and and then that's the way it would move. And then there'll be another one coming behind it, as I said. But getting back to our contest, the photo contest, as we did in our caravan last year in Iowa, we're going to have a photography contest for participants. You don't have to be a professional photographer. These are it's open to anybody. It's just fun. So you can take photographs of your cameras, cell phones, and submit to our email once you do one of your favorites, probably several of them. And or you can put them with a hashtag, post them on Facebook or Instagram with the hashtag 24J's Caravan, and then we'll enter you into the contest. Then we'll have a judging of that in our conference in Alexandria. There's 3 themes for the contest this year. We'll talk about that in a minute. But winners will be announced, as I said, at the banquet in Alexandria, and will receive some special prizes and recognition. Passport, hugely successful. One of the biggest things last year, everybody wanted to get their passport stamped, and we're bringing that back again. So our guidebook, in the very back pages of it, will have a passport book. So as we stop at these specific points on the route, we'll let you know. There'll be a stamp, and these will be very creative stamps for these specific places. And you'll have an opportunity to have your book stamped and available on the route. And we encourage you to get these and complete them all. It's just a great souvenir for your trip. We'll end the last stop with a caravan stamp for the completion of our caravan. There will be a vehicle decoration contest. We would like to see a few of you kind of make some creative special efforts to decorate your car. That's fun. Do something outside the box. It's encouraged. If we have those doing this, we'll have a contest among them to have an award and a prize. And creativity is encouraged, but again, safety is paramount. Go over the photography contest. These are the Caravan events and activities. Will be our first contest. So things where we're doing, if it's a social function there or a tour or, even late at night, if you're sitting around one of the evenings talking, that's a Caravan event and activity. Take some pictures of those. And this also helps us when you submit it because we have a really good log of the Caravan for folks that we can use in the future. Roadside Jefferson Highway. So these are just roadside things you see along the route as you're traveling it. Along the road, it may be something unique element that you want to take a creative photograph of. That's what that is. And then Louisiana scenes, just things that as you're going really make you think of Louisiana, give it use your creativity there. And those will be our photography contests. Here's some of the last year's uh, photographs. One of them you see on the far left was our contest winner. This young lady was really a jewel in our Caravan last year. She went the whole route through Iowa with us, with her family, and she's holding up this Jefferson Highway sign, and that picture was one of our winners in our contest last year. On the far right, you'll see a scene that was taken in Colo, Iowa, at the crossing of the Jefferson and Lincoln highways. And these two horses were really interested in what was going on as we were taking photographs. And Arlene Goulds from Natchitoches, Louisiana, took this picture. It was one of our winners last year. In the middle, I'm just saying, hey, be creative. If you have a drone and you want to use it, hey, that's great. I'd love to see some pictures of the route, and may even look to try to do that myself. But be creative and have fun, and it's really good to see some of the photographs that are about the port stamps. This is the one of the stamps that will be done at the very end of the Caravan this year. Again, these were highly popular last year, and they are a unique element. I think that adds a lot of fun to the trip and travel. So here we have a slide showing decorations from the past. I told you about the decorating contest. These cars on the top here that says Louisiana cars. This is in Minnesota at Tasca State Park, among the pines of Minnesota. But you see almost all those cars that you see in this picture are Louisiana cars. They made a trip all the way on the Sociability run up into Minnesota. And you can see that they, have decorations and such on their cars, and just kind of let people know that, hey, Louisiana is represented. So, it's a way to think about it is have your state represented on some of your decorations. The pictures are here on the right. That's a Sociability car in Iowa. And you can see it has markings. And then the one on the very bottom there, that's a picture taken in Kensett, Iowa. And you can look closely, you'll see the numbering and some of the decorations on the car. This was one of the first runs of the Jefferson Highway. This year, I'm going to encourage something a little different, something fun. And I thought would be to do is, go on to Amazon. You don't have to any kind of website, do a search, and find you a car flag in your state. This is really, I think, a unique element as we go into these places and people will see all the different states represented. We love to have a good representation of the Jefferson Highway states and provinces if possible. But even if you're area coming to the Caravan, if you don't mind, bring your own state flag. I think it'd be fun to do this. I know I've already ordered mine, and looking forward to seeing people with them displaying as they drive along the route this flag along their car. So just go out to. They're not very expensive. I think the Oklahoma one I got was $1. Not a very expensive thing, but I think it'd be a fun thing for us to do. Here's our official event logo of the Caravan. We've got this out on a lot of our things. So you see the state of Louisiana represented in this. So just wanted you to see the Caravan, as this will be a lot of the items that we do over this time period. I talked about the guidebook. This again is an important document for you for $5. It's a bargain price. It's going to have the area for the passport stamp. It's going to have route guidance information, where we're going to be at certain times. Obviously subject to change, but that's as the time we print it, that's what we'll be looking at. There'll be historic information. Enjoy it, and $5. So I'd recommend pre-ordering that as soon as possible. It helps us determine how many we need to print, and they will be reserved for you when we start the Caravan and along the way if you join us at different points. So $5 for those. I have some Caravan official merchandise. So these are some items that are official to the Caravan, and also some things that I recommend or things that you may want to consider. These are on our online store at jeffersonhighway.org. Just click the store button. The Caravan t-shirt, as you can see, it's on the top left of your screen. And that is a order for pre-orders now. We already have several pre-orders for that as the time we're recording this. You can see below that is a car flag. So we have the state car flags. These are our association car flags. So like on my car, I'm going to have one of the official Jefferson Highway car flags, and then I'll have the state car flags on one side. That's what I would recommend. Again, you can order those now. The car magnets, we have a limited amount of these already ordered. We had some orders from these online also already, but these will be really cool to be on the side of your car. They are pretty large magnets, and they will go on the side of your car. They're just easy to take on and off for this event, and we'll have those available. We encourage you, if you want to use the Jefferson Highway Association ones, either what you've had before on the Caravan or an activity, or you want to order those, that's okay too. But the Caravan ones are really neat. You can order a JH cap for those men or others that want to order a cap. Those are available. We can also have those available to the Caravan, or you can even have those shipped. We have the new thing here on the top right, a JH umbrella with our Jefferson Highway Association logo. We'll have a few of those. If you want those, I would not have very many of those available at all, but unless we get some pre-orders for them. But that's a new item that will be in our store, and hopefully be a unique thing. We hope we don't have rain, but if we do have rain, it's rain or shine. We're going to be moving on, and that is something that you might want to have. And if you're pre-ordering, I would do it now. The sooner the better for us, so we can kind of get these items in stock and ready for you. This is something new this year. We actually have these items now. We just got them recently, and these are armbands. So all our participants are going to be given an armband at the time of the register. and it's just kind of our way of a souvenir to let you know you're part of us and you're part of a unique activity in this caravan in our area that has not had a sociability run caravan like this in nearly 100 years. Another new thing we're working on is to have a Spotify music playlist. That's kind of something that's come up in the last few days with us. You know, when I travel, I like to kind of listen to some music that puts you in the mood. So we're going to have some music on here that's about some of the things we do, about some of the locations we do, some of the musicians that will be touching in Louisiana. And some of it will just be related to Jefferson Highway. So we'll have a music playlist, and that will be available in our guidebooks, and information will be available during our caravan. And I think it'll be fun. We'll see how that goes, but probably not for everyone. But I think those that do will enjoy it. Lodging, we have some great lodging available to you on this caravan. And we have 2 overnights. Last year we had more than that, but this year 2 overnights, and we have some great lodging for you. This one is on our second night. This is one of the places at the Judge Porter House Bed and Breakfast in Natchitoches. We do have limited blocks, so you know the sooner the better that you get into reserving these. These are all members of the Jefferson Highway Association lodging, and the ones in Natchitoches, which we're really excited about. And we'll talk more about that as we go into some more slides. So now we're going to go over what's our caravan schedule for these great few days in Louisiana. Again, this is a caravan pre-conference, so our route is going to the Jefferson Highway Conference in Alexandria, and we're going to start off in Shreveport, which has a great heritage and history of the Jefferson Highway, and it's a good place to start in northern Louisiana as we begin our journey. So on day one, as of this recording, things are always subject to some change, but there is some things that we are adjusting as time goes on. But right now, this is our schedule, and it kind of gives you a good overview of what you can expect. So we're going to have a optional lunch at Strawn's, which is not on the Jefferson Highway. It's on the 125 Kings Highway in Shreveport, but it's an iconic place. If you've never been there before, you're going to love. You've got to have the strawberry icebox pie. It's one of my favorite places to go in Louisiana and sample that pie. And I'm not going to miss the opportunity, and I don't think you should either. But you know, it's just an optional thing. It's not for everybody. But sometime around noon, that's where we'll be there, and we'll have a little bit more information about that as we get closer. Then we will have a great reception at the National Rose Garden Center in Shreveport, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. And then in the evening, I'm excited about this. We're going to have a downtown walking tour, and that's going to be great. And then our dinner together will be in Shreveport. That's to be determined. We're working on that now. So in Rose Center is going to be our first official registration stop. So we're going to have a registration check-in there. There'll be information tables. There'll be people there from the Visitor Bureau of Shreveport to welcome you. You got to tour the gardens. You know, it's just a welcoming, and it's a beautiful place to have that just right off the route. Not far. It's the address is there at 8877 Jefferson Page Road. But that will be our check-in, and you'll see some signs that we'll have out front to guide you to that and welcome you there. So, you know, 2 to 4, you're welcome to go around the garden, and just enjoy the day there in the afternoon. Then, as we get ready to leave or go down the road, we probably will not go down the original route here because of time issues, traffic issues, but it's what it is. But we are going to go to the downtown area and we'll give you some information on that when you get there. And then we have a great walking tour scheduled at 6 p.m. It's going to be starting at a site to be determined in downtown Shreveport, where you'll park. We'll all get out, and Mr. Trudeau, who is an expert and a great guy that I've enjoyed visiting with recently myself, he's going to give us a special customized history tour of downtown Shreveport, and we'll be touching on some Jefferson Highway events and locations. We'll also be touching on a little bit of everything on the history of music to uh, architecture, everything as we walk around Shreveport, and he's going to let you know some things that probably the common person, even in Shreveport, doesn't really know. And it should be a really fun time there with Mr. Trudeau. At the one point during this walking tour, we're going to have a special interactive recreation of something that occurred again on this 1917 sociability. And the one that we're looking for is kind of a guide to our run. And this is occurred in 1917. You see the picture here. That was the courthouse at that time, the Caddo Parish Courthouse. And look at the crowd in front of this. I mean, Shreveport went really all out for this caravan. It was amazing detail of all the things that they did to welcome the dignitaries on the Jefferson Highway Caravan. It was a huge event there. And they had bells going off, the firemen, train whistles were blowing. I mean, it is unbelievable all that went into the planning of this event. And during this, they had a really unique event here. They did the mingling of water. So uh, up in Winnipeg and Manitoba, where the Red River of the North is, they brought water from the Red River of the North, and they brought it all the way down the route that was planned. And then they had a ceremony with the Red River of the South water, which was taken from Shreveport, the Red River there, and they combined those into a mingling, is what it was called. And they had elaborate poems, and we have a lot of detail on this ceremony. It was an amazing amount of detail that we have on just about word for word what they said, who was there. So we're going to recreate it in some manner or fashion, and we'll have some volunteers read it, and it'll be a fun event for us to recreate that basically at the same place that it occurred. And then, later after we eat, we'll probably check in even before the 6 o'clock deal is what I'd recommend. But our lodging for the night, it's not a quote historic lodging, but there's not a lot of historic lodging in the downtown area, sadly. But we've got a great rate given to us by the Hilton there, and so you can see the rates there. Our room blocks are not far away from being filled, so you may want to call, but they may give us an additional block here. But you can see $109 for staying in a quality place like the Hilton downtown for a double, or 119 for a king is a really good rate, and it'll be good for us to spend the night there. On two, this is when really the heart of the sociability run begins, as we travel from Shreveport down to the historic and beautiful community of Natchitoches. We talked about drones. This is a drone picture taking a beautiful Natchitoches, and the road that you can see on the left side, right near the water there, that is the Jefferson Highway route. And it is a wonderful community that we'll get to visit on this tour. So a quick overview of the early section of this day. We'll be going from Shreveport to Mansfield, Louisiana. Really looking forward to the Municipal Auditorium, a very historic venue in Shreveport. We'll be going to the communities of Stonewall. We're going to make a short stop in Grand Cane, which is the picture on the very bottom there. A very unique little block there with a lot of really interesting, good history of the Jefferson Highway. Then we get our lunch in Mansfield at the historic and former Mansfield Female College. So the Municipal Auditorium tour, I've taken pictures outside of it. There's an Elvis statue, there's a James Burton statue. It's a really a neat looking building, still being used, and we're going to have the opportunity to have a guided tour of the building and learn about its history, its heritage, and walk through it. Something that I've now had the opportunity to do. So looking forward to that. And yes, Elvis, Louisiana Hayride. This is the building where he first became, nationally known. Was this, event here? So that's why the Elvis statue's out front, and you can see the old sign there on the left. Is the advertisement featuring Elvis Presley, and that's going to be fun to look at. Yes, that's not necessarily in the time of the Jefferson Highway, but as I tell people all the time, this is a cultural route, all different areas of history. Yes, time periods of the 1910s and 1920s, but all the things culturally and historically that happened on the route are part of its heritage and something for us to look at. And then one of the stops we talked about is in Grand Cane. This is a very historic community, a very small community along the route. It's got this unique bank in the town that they just recently redid the front on, and I believe there are offices for the city are there. So we're going to have a little time to stop there, meet a few folks, and then we will go on about our way. And then we will have, as you can see here, this is an old advertisement from back in the day. It says, "We want the Jefferson Highway." And this is a business that was in Grand Cane. So yes, it was very important back in the day for the Jefferson Highway. We'll then be going into Mansfield, which is very historic, had a lot of leadership in this area for the Jefferson Highway, and a Jefferson Highway garage here. And we'll be looking at some of the buildings downtown, the original courthouse, which had a lot of Jefferson Highway meetings in it. Some of the signage in the town actually has Old Jefferson Highway, which is really neat. And then we will, you can see this is another advertisement saying we will be, Jefferson Highway will be a great thing for Mansfield. So a lot of history and heritage in Mansfield. Then we get the great privilege of having a lunch at this historic Mansfield College Mansfield College for Women. It's a museum now. It's a site the college has been not used for a long time, but it's one of the most historic women's college in the country, one of the earliest. And we're going to get to learn about that. I think we're going to have some special guests there. They're going to tell us some things. So we're really excited about this stop. And there'll be a box lunch available for purchase there for all of our the guests on the tour. In the afternoon, we'll be going to several places. These are not completely set, but there'll be the Mansfield Civil War Park, The Pleasant Hill and Marthaville area will be going by a former filling station that has been used for many other things since, but it's a really unique one. And Roboline right on the route. And then we have the Natchitoches, tourist camp location at Northwestern State University. This is just a look at one of our proposed stops in a very small community in Marthaville. One time had a Jefferson Highway garage in Marthaville. And we're going to stop at the Marthaville General Store and for a break in the afternoon. Good place to get a few refreshments and break. And looking forward to that. In the community, you can see there's a picture of the original Marthaville Hotel. This is a picture taken in the last year of that same building in Marthaville, so it's still there, right on the Jefferson Highway route. As we enter into Natchitoches, we'll be stopping at the area we just did a dedication and signage about a year ago of the Jefferson Highway Tourist Camp site. So we're going to stop there. This is going to be one of our stamp places and passports, and you can stop there and take a look. It's a good place to look over this really nice university in Natchitoches there, and we'll talk more about the tourist camp during that stop. And then we'll get to check in for our great lodging tonight. And I mean, this is really going to be great places to stay. They are basically historic lodging, and they are all members of the Jefferson Highway newly established lodging association, which is really great. So you certainly need to thank them for that and promote the Jefferson Highway to them as you stay there. But we have a 10-room block at the Church Street Inn, which is I think a former bank building, but it's been converted into an inn, and it has more rooms in it than the other bed and breakfast here. But it's up to you. But again, these blocks, we don't know how many rooms there are on every one of them. So if one's full, you may have to talk to another one. The Violet Hill Bed and Breakfast, which is on the Jefferson Highway route. The Grand Judge Porter House, which is not far off the route. And the Steel Magnolia House from the part of the Steel Magnolia movie and book fame. It was used in the filming of the movie. There'll be a block there. You'll have to check with them for rates. A lot of the information, reservation is on a website, jeffersonhighway.org. And one of the first things you will see up there is about the Caravan, and it will have a link to a PDF file that will give you all the details of how you can reserve these rooms. That evening, we're going to have a dinner together at the Flying Heart Brewery and Pub, and we'll get to talk and have a little camaraderie together as we eat there. And it's not far off the route and not far from downtown. And then you're welcome to join us there for just dinner, or as long as you want before you check back in your room. Just walking around Natchitoches even in the evening is a great thing to do. I can tell you that. I know you would enjoy that. Then the next morning, we're going to get up and we're going to have a breakfast reception given to us at the Fort Jean Baptiste site. And there'll be a little continental breakfast there for us. They're from the Keene River group there, and we're looking, they're happy that they're supporting this. And they're going to provide a really cool Jefferson Highway sign dedication that we'll talk about just in a minute. Before we get going, we'll have lunch on at Grayson's Barbecue. Maybe we'll get to do a quick stop at this great, iconic old store in Natchitoches, the coffee store. You'll want to try to get there as you can. It's just wonderful to go in. And then you get to go to on the route. Eventually, we'll be on the barbecue luncheon, and then on to the Hotel Lesage. We'll talk about that as we go on down the route. So, fifth reception will be at the Fort Jean Baptiste Historic Site. Get to view that a little bit, but right next door to it will be the Jefferson Street Park, where there already is some signage with Jefferson Highway there, and we're going to dedicate one of our new historic markers there, and you can see a little portion of it there. And we're looking, that'll be a really fun event, and hopefully gain some attention in the town that morning. A lot of some of the community will come out to greet us. Then a little later, we'll get to do lunch at the barbecue not far away in Clarence, Louisiana. And barbecue. Interesting thing in the 1917 Caravan, not very far from this, in Colfax, the 1917 was given a huge barbecue dinner. Unbelievable story about how much effort into this barbecue dinner. And we'll touch base on that. And we just happened to have barbecue on that same day at not too far away, Grayson's. And it's just, iconic road food that you'll really enjoy. And you can see some of our caravan people from a previous tour of this area. Some of you might recognize there on the top there. Then as we travel, there'll probably be a few other little small stops along the way, but eventually we'll get down to Colfax, Louisiana. And the owner of this property, Robert's going to give us a guided look inside the building of all the things he's done, a story of how he saved and restored this building. Beautiful, very old historic hotel building that I'm finding out all the time more information about the time of the Jefferson Highway when it was a hotel, and just a little about its history and heritage. It'll be a great stop along the route. Then we get to go on bridges. It's always fun to take pictures of these with our groups along our tours. So we got to a bridge, and this is the Sparrow Lane Bridge, one lane bridge practically. It's been there, built right on the Jefferson Highway from a parish that did all it could for the Jefferson Highway, and it's now on the National Register of Historic Places. So it's a beautiful setting right here on this, right off the roadway on the original route of the Jefferson Highway. We're going to go into Pineville, Louisiana. We'll look at some sites there. That area, as we speak, is we're still doing some development there, but we'll have a good stop in Pineville, I can guarantee you. And that's a community that is embracing very much its Jefferson heritage. During the 2024 conference, there'll be a special event related to Pineville. So, it'll be something that we'll join. It's right basically on the other side of Alexandria, on the other side of the river. We'll cross the river on the historic bridge. We'll drive right into downtown, right up to the grand and beautiful Hotel Bentley, which is our conference headquarters hotel. We'll go right up in the lobby, and our final stamp and our final activity will be at the Hotel Bentley in Alexandria. We're at 4 o'clock or so. We will end our caravan activities, and then that's basically right after that when the conference starts with a reception for those that are attending the conference, and it's going to be a great time. So if you're asking, okay, this really looks fun. What's it cost? How do I register? How do I get involved in this? First off, there is no real cost. There's no real fees for this, but your expenses that you have, which is hotel, food, whatever it may be, gas, on route. That's obviously your responsibility. You're just touring along with us, but we're not. We do like you to give us a registration. So just send us an email. Pretty easy. info@jeffersonhighway.org. Just put Sociability Caravan registration. Say, I'm Joe Smith. Me and my wife are going to be wanting to do the whole caravan with you, and we'd like to register. Some of you might say, well, I want to only go from Natchitoches to Alexandria, or I only want to do one day one, or whatever it may be. That's fine too. We just like to know who's going. It helps us with planning and understanding how much people are going to be there, how many items we need to have for you, and so on. So please, we would recommend you register. And this can be done, within a week or so of the conference. We're okay, the Caribbean, but please do register. If you want to go on, there's an event post on our Facebook page. You can click on that also. But I would recommend you send us an email, and we're keeping track of all those. And also, so if we have information we want to give you about the caravan, we'll be sending those out on these emails that we get from these registrants. So it's that easy. And it's again going to be a really fun time. You're going to enjoy people. You're going to meet a lot of different people from all over the country. We have people that are signed up for this caravan now from all kind of different states. We've got some coming this year already registered on this caravan from Connecticut, Michigan, Ohio, and the list goes on. And so it's going to be, you're going to meet a lot of different folks, and we'll have a good time together as we travel on this caravan. Obviously, the international conference at the Hotel Bentley follows this, and we highly encourage everyone to attend that also. Our registration is really at a good level at this point in time. We're probably going to break the record for the most we've ever had registered at a conference, and we're excited about that. Highly recommend you register as possible. Take advantage of any might be offered, and your hotel reserved at the Bentley. Some of the things we'll be doing a bus tour. We'll have a great awards banquet with a great speaker that evening that I'm looking forward. She's done a lot of restoration on a unbelievable plantation there, and all the history that she knows in that area. We have a great speakers program. I'm really excited about this. Probably the best one we've ever done. One of them is going to be a Stephanie Stuckey, who's coming all the way from Georgia. Yes, Stephanie is not on the. This is not really Stuckey's business. Is not really on the Jefferson Highway, but she's the great granddaughter of the Stuckey's owner, and she has made it her goal. She's pretty much dropped her other all the things that she did in her life to try to bring back a Stuckey's brand, and she's being successful. She has a new book out. You'll really enjoy meeting her. What a great lady. And we're really excited to have her there as part of the conference. She'll be flying in, and that will be one of our speakers that morning. On Friday morning, we have also CC Otto from coming all the way down the Jefferson Highway route from Minnesota. She's going to give you a great presentation of music of the era. You're going to hear her sing. You're going to learn a lot from her presentation. And then we have Jay Dardan, the former lieutenant governor of the state of Louisiana, who's given a great amount of programs, has been on television, giving programs on Louisiana. And I know you'll enjoy him. I've been told so many great things about his program. Be a great way to end it. We'll have trolley tours. We're going to have a Friday night 1920 street festival. We encourage you to bring your 1920s costumes or find those. There'll be a lot of fun. There'll be some contests for that. There'll be vintage cars. They'll block the street right off in front of this building you see here. It's going to be great. There'll be some signage dedications and so on. If you have any questions about anything you've heard here, on this presentation. You should be viewing this on YouTube. And so how do you get a hold of us? Just send us an email, info@jeffersonhighway.org. We'll get right back to you. Or if you want to go onto Facebook and do a message on Facebook to us, we'll get right back to you. We love hearing from you. It's going to be a great sociability caravan. I'm real excited about it, and great conference ahead, and we're excited. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you all on the way in our caravan.